partner, then you have better sex. People who do experiment should know that there is a certain danger, that they have to know if that partner was with somebody else in terms of sexually transmitted diseases. I am very worried, I forgot to say that before. I'm very worried in New York City, for example. There are now sex clubs springing up, homosexual, heterosexual, and we are going to see a new rise in AIDS. Because young people think that they don't have to worry about it. They don't see AIDS patients, and they think there's a medication, and there is less worry about that dreadful disease. So if you have more than one partner, I believe you have to go and be checked to make sure that you don't have any sexually transmitted disease.
Dr. Ruth, what is your opinion on using the rhythm cycle without any form of birth control?
Okay, in the Catholic tradition, there is a way that says if you don't want to be pregnant, to use the rhythm cycle. I would love for somebody to come up with an easy way to teach it. We don't have an easy way because even the woman who is very responsible and checks the ovulation and takes her temperature, people are not regular and ovulation can occur at different days. So it's a very different rhythm method. If it would work, it would be wonderful. Not to have any sexual activity during the time that you are likely to be pregnant. But it's a very difficult position, a very difficult contraceptive to teach. And I wish somebody will come up with a better way of teaching it. If we would have that way, I would be very much for it by saying, terrific. Then you don't have to worry about an unintended pregnancy and use it.
Dr. Ruth, do men, I just read these as they come. Do men like to make love more or have hardcore sex?
I believe I take all these questions home. They make up my next book.
I had to record some of this. It's too funny.
So I hope your question was good.
Men and women do
What you
want
write?
to have a relationship.
I'll tell you.
That they don't want to have just sex. I do believe that the best sex is when two people really like each other, want to pleasure each other, want to have a relationship. Now you can tell me that maybe one or the other person wants to have just an ejaculation, and I will say, have a good time, just don't get anybody pregnant. So I do not think that men just want to have sex. I believe they also want to have a partner, somebody with whom they have a relationship.
Dr. Ruth, what position is best to achieve female orgasm?
The best position is to be sexually literate. But I want to tell you something. It's very interesting. In the studies that we have from Masters Johnson, in those days there were 1/3 of women who did have sexual satisfaction during intercourse. Here is something for all of you psychology majors. We have to bury the myth. We have to shout it from the rooftops of Westfield University that Sigmund Freud was a genius, but Sigmund Freud was sexually illiterate. Sigmund Freud said that any woman, he was a genius in other aspects of human behavior. In terms of female sexuality, he was ignorant. He said, any woman who does not have an orgasm during intercourse is an immature woman. And I still have people these days, women, walk into my office thinking that there's something wrong, that they're immature, because they can't have an orgasm during intercourse. In the studies that I mentioned, Masters and Johnson, only 1/3 of American sexually active women do have an orgasm during intercourse. Another 1/3 of American sexually active women do have an orgasm when the clitoris is being stimulated either before or after intercourse. And in their studies, but that number is changing because of talks like ours, in their studies they said that 1/3 of women don't have orgasms. That number is changing. But if I gave you now on a normal curve 30% who do have an orgasm during intercourse, 30% who have an orgasm when the clitoris is being stimulated before or after intercourse, and 30% who don't have an orgasm, what do I owe you on a normal curve? I talked about 30, 30, 30. 10. 5% of women on the extreme of the normal curve, now I'm going to blush, 5% of women can have an orgasm sitting right here, and I will never ask a show of hands. In the olden days, when women used to sew on manual sewing machines, from time to time, you could observe a woman sewing very, very fast, having a crack in her face, having a smile on her face. These women are what is called in the sexological language easily orgasmic. They don't need a sex therapist. What do I owe you on the other extreme? 5% of American sexually active women that they studied do not have sexual satisfaction for other reasons, like what I mentioned before, either depression or alcoholism, or these women, a sex therapist can't help because they have to clear up the other problem. The ones that do have sexual satisfaction when the clitoris is being stimulated, that's really all that counts. Sometimes she might have an orgasm during intercourse. It does not matter. It has nothing to do with maturity. Some women, for the rest of their lives, do not have an orgasm during intercourse, and that's okay too. Now, for older women, if they don't have a partner, older men and older women, but I'm right now talking about women, I say make sure that you stimulate yourself and that you bring yourself to orgasm. Because if I see people walking in the street, I can tell you who has had orgasms in the business. I tell women, use a vibrator, but be careful. Don't get used to the vibrations. No penis can duplicate the vibrations of the vibrator. So use the vibrator, put it aside, and finish with your head.
Michael J. Fox.